Coach, defensive coaches are always trying to get an extra guy against the run and an extra guy against the pass. Northwestern has a coverage, and it's their base coverage that does it both in the run and the pass.
Yeah, what's interesting, Jerry, is that Mike Hankiewicz, the Northwestern defense coordinator, 2 years ago, we played them in the championship game. Much different style of defense. They were extra guy in the box, cover three. This is something we call quarters, and quarters is exactly what you just said. It's a read coverage where against run, you have two safeties support. Against pass, you have two safeties in the pass.
Let's take a look.
This is classic quarters coverage. What I mean by quarters coverage, you have 1/4 of the field, 1/4 of the field, 1/4 of the field. So these four defenders are basically responsible for the fourths of the field. Hence we call quarters. The difference is that these two players, we call them read defenders. They're the two defenders we just talked about. Against the run, guess what they are?
Support players.
Support players. Against pass, they're
coverage players.
Pass defenders.
Right.
So in a lot of people's minds, this is the perfect coverage. Here's the risk. Everything's got risk. That guy and that guy in play action passing, there is no help. That safety, they're reading the number 2 eligible receiver on their side of the formation. This safety, you can see the stripe of his helmet. He's staring right at number 2. He's staring right at number 2. If number 2 releases in a pass, they have him on anything vertical. If he releases in a pass flat, he helps outside. What happens if this guy blocks?
He's run support.
He's run support right now.
Right.
Once again, what's the risk? These two guys are on the island. If he blocks, watch how fast he comes. He blocks, go.
Right.
Look at him insert, boom, hits it. So you have the extra hat because why? His guy blocked.
Right.
Now look at the opposite down here. What's this safety doing? He's playing pass,
Right.
why?
He
His
went
guy
vertical.
released.
Right.
Classic quarters, gain a hat against the run, gain a hat against the pass.
And go to the top of the screen, Coach. That brings out the point that corner's on an island.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Let's just say this. If that's Chris Olave, that's not a matchup Northwestern wants.
right.
All right, here's another classic quarters, okay? So let's take a look out here. So the corner, I think he does a marvelous job. It's called leverage the ball.
Right.
And what does leverage mean? Send the ball back to where? Your help.
To your help.
If he jumps inside, this is a big play. He does an excellent job, forces it back to the free hats. And the one thing about Northwestern kids now, they're tough as nails. Watch the Sam linebacker. He's coming there with a little intent.
So the offense isn't just going to let this happen, right? So the counter to it is
Play action
right.
to get these guys step up and shoot it down the field against these two corners. Make these guys, at the end of the day, we used to say, I want them in the training room, not because they're hurt, because they're cramped up. And we would just rotate receivers. Because this guy and that guy, they got their track shoes on.
At some point, you have to help the corners, right? The offense is coaching as well. So how do you help the corners?
One way to get help, they're going to take this safety and they're going to insert him in the run game. He's not a read player anymore. They're telling this corner now, instead of man-to-man all over the field, it's cover 3. And remember, cover 3 now is different than quarters. Cover 3 is third, deep middle, so those are the thirds of the field. Much easier on a corner, the stress level.
Okay, Coach, but before the snap, this looks like it could be quarters, right?
Yeah, and this, I just love well-coached teams. So here, they're rotating to cover 3. How do you know that? The safeties rotate middle of the field. And now, once again, defensive coordinators want to get an extra hat against the run. That's exactly what they're doing. The offense is not accounting for him. Watch, he comes in here. This is at the line of scrimmage, too. He's sitting out for no gain.
Okay, Coach, so we've seen one way to help the corners by going cover 3. This is also cover 3, but they get to it in a different way.
That's right. Now they're going to say, we call this squeeze corner. So now on the snap, you can see his eyes. He's focused on this guy right here. He's going to insert. Your job on squeeze is to beat the wide receiver's block. Your job now, you're not reading him anymore. So on the snap, you're going to start to get width. It's much less risk on these guys. And now this guy has no depth. He's just going to come in here and he is the A, B, C, D gap defender. That means if the run play shows, that's his responsibility. I just got to point out again, they just do a good job. Watch the linebacker. Why does he take on the block with his inside shoulder?
Because he's got the backside backer.
That's it.
Right.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yep.
That's a beautiful. That is kind of gets you excited about the game of football here. This is really well done. A+.